a respectable position on the league log. And looking at the rest of the games that they have to play in Berekem, when you are guaranteed 3 points in each game, it means Berekem Chelsea will be playing Ghana Premier League next season. So most of their home games, they are determined to get the maximum 3 points. You add 9 points to this 41 points, they move to 50. And 50 will guarantee you Premier League next season. That is what Berekem Chelsea are eager to get it before the end of the season. So the two teams here are determined to get the maximum 3 points. Hearts of Oak are not in a good position on the league log, where their next game they are playing the Diana Stars before moving to Asante Kotoko. So it tells you they really want to get the maximum 3 points today in Berekem to help them get the another 3 points against the Diana Stars in Accra. So the two teams are poised up ready to get the maximum 3 points, but it's not going to be easy. Midfield play right from the defense. They all have experience and young players doing the work for them this particular season.
Yeah, absolutely. If you take a look at this, I mean, it's obvious. Hearts must win. A defeat or a draw would a draw might be okay, but not safe, because Dreams, Hearts of Lions, and Royal Tamale United will be battling to get out of that relegation zone. So the Phobians will have their work cut out by trying to get the maximum 3 points available in Berekem. But we do know what's at stake, and this afternoon's game is really going to be hot. But for Hearts of Oak, you'd be thinking that with the players they have, look at the players who stepped down from the bus, the quality of their players, the experience of their players, the material at their disposal, such a big club. This shouldn't be a match that is literally a season-defining game should they lose.
Well, with Hearts of Oak itself as a club or as an entity, Hearts of Oak has the experience. They know how to navigate. In 2015, the season Hearts of Lions went on relegation. Hearts of Oak actually survived relegation on the last day of the season. And ever since then, they've basically not put themselves into such a situation, because they knew it was a deadly situation for them, but they managed to get themselves out of it. If you look at this season, as to how Hearts of Oak found themselves at the particular position on the league table, leaves much for someone to ponder or wrap his head about. Because going into the season, they've recruited well, and they had some experienced players from last season. So if you look at the team, you ask yourself, how do Hearts of Oak play such a bad season and currently lying in the bottom half of the league table? And a defeat for them, a defeat for Hearts of Oak in this afternoon's game will leave them in a very tricky situation, because that will be left with 5 matches to the end of the season. And how do Hearts of Oak approach that? Because this season, Hearts of Oak has proven that they can't win matches on the road, they can't win matches at home. If you are winning at home and you are losing away, then it's a different ball game altogether. But they are mixing it up, and it's extremely difficult. And if you look at Berekem Chelsea, Gregory Setre, one of the finest goalkeepers on the local terrain, he has been very consistent for them with his performance. And if you look at the club itself, he's one of their top performers. You saw people who made mention of Amankona and Mezaka Fiye, because basically they are the goal scorers. They pop up, so they are always in the faces of the camera. But secretly, the secret weapon of this team is Gregory Setre. He has been consistent throughout the entire season for them.
He's been very consistent. The pitch is okay. I mean, it's better than it has been in previous games, and intermittent rain has made sure that it is quite subtle for the game. But there's one thing you notice: the Hearts players look very relaxed, and sometimes it helps. You don't have to be too tense and stressed before kickoff. And if you look at the what's the word to use, posture and facial expressions, they look relaxed. The goalkeepers, perhaps, maybe not so. They're just keeping focused. They've had challenges in that department, but hopefully that's been sorted out.
If you look at Hearts of Oak, David Opon-Afrani and Kofi Agbesima from Kim Faisal and Berekem United, they've been brilliant. Agbesima was basically one of the finest centre-backs in the league. It took a marathon of negotiation for Hearts of Oak and Kim Faisal, Alaji Grusa, to get Opon-Afrani to the club. Yeah. You look at Michel Ampedu, formerly he played for Legon Cities. Then you look at Dennis Kosa, former captain of Ebusua Dwarfs. All these players are like of international standards. But as to how Hearts of Oak keeps conceding goals week in, week out in the league, and they can't just shut down the back line for opponents, leave much to be. And look, Hearts of Oak has one of the finest central midfielders in the league, Glido Tanga, the Congolese. But it is all about concentration on the back line of Hearts of Oak.
And is it about the coach also settling down to see? I mean, let me bring Nana in here. Is it about the coach still not settled as to his best team, as to his formations in games such as these, because they've struggled away from home? Or this is what you expect form a team that is going through, what's the word to use, a transition under a new coach?
I think, injuries has been a major problem for Hearts of Oak. When you look at today's game, they are missing Glade Otanga. So Raphael and Ponsa replaces him in the middle of the park. Remember their last home game against Accra Lions. When Glade Otanga went out, they introduced, Gideon Asante Yabuadiho, the Tema-based guy. And people thought, in that game, looking at the pressure Accra Lions was giving them on the field of play, you should have rather put, David Opamapani to medal and bring in Winnie in the second half, but he decided to bring in Gideon Asante Yabua, and that was the reason why the loss of Blessing Dankwa and of course Awuni did the trick for them to get a goal for Accra Lions. So he has learned on that, and today he's starting Raphael and Ponsa, a young guy who came into the team with the same guy of Martin Kakari. So he's a good boy in the team, but he doesn't get more playing time because of the performance of defensive midfielder Glade Otanga. So it's an opportunity for Raphael and Ponsa to also demonstrate what he can do for the club in today's game. And when we look at the midfield though, Raphael and Ponsa, Linda Intange, and Stanley Adams, these are typical boss-to-boss midfielders. They defend well, they run a lot on the field of play, they go in and out. Salim Adams is a typical number 8, he can shoot from afar. On a good day, he can add a lot in the House of Oak team. That ball situation is there for you on several occasions. Where I have problem with the House of Oak team is, where will Issa Kuka operate from? Is he going to be the main arrowhead and Hamza Issa operating from the left? Or Hamza Issa will be the main arrowhead and Issa Kuka operating from the left? That is the major problem for House of Oak. But I think on the field of play, they have quality players who can make the difference for them in today's game against Berekem Chelsea.
Yeah. Build up continues. We'll be hearing from the two coaches, Watara and Samuel Bredu, very shortly from pitch side, and you can also follow that on our social media platform. But yeah, it will be very interesting to hear what Coach Bredu in particular has to say. He's had it very tough, a very tough time, and he even started with a couple of poor results, heavy losses, and people were beginning to wonder whether or not he had lost it. But then it took time.
4 or 5 to Accra Lions.
Yeah, it took time for him to build up, and I think the players have now embraced his philosophy and his type of football, and they're beginning to get the results.
Yeah. If you look at Samuel Bredu, even when he was at Hearts of Oak and things were not going well in the season leading to him being sacked, his teams play good football. They build from the base, expand into midfield, spread it to the wings, and then get the ball to the attackers. But their problem is about converting chances. And if you look at Berekem Chelsea's last 5 matches, basically, this is one of their last 5 home matches in the league. Basically, this is one of the finest home form guides you get currently. 4 wins and then a draw. That draw came against Berekem United. They beat Karela 3-0, beat Ediana 1-0, beat drew with Berekem United 1-1. Beat Dreams 3-2 and then beat Mediama, the reigning champions, 2-0. So if you look at the sandwich with that defeat against Legon Cities at the Deu Park. So if you look at this, you realize that their home form happens to be their strength. Because basically if you go there, they'll beat you. And they just found a way to play. And Amankuna and Mizak Afriye basically complement each other up front beautifully. And they play to the strength of each other to get the goals. So this afternoon, Amankuna will be raring to go at this Hearts of Oak team. And unless these Hearts of Oak players show the kind of mental fortitude they've shown prior to Hearts of Oak recruiting them to the club, I don't see the way they will stop the rod by conceding goals consistently like they are doing in the league. But if they can switch on, they are big players. Agbesima, David Opon, Michel Ampedu, and then Dennis Kosa. These are world-class players in the league. Excuse my language.
Hearts playing
locally, they are world-class players in the Ghanaian league.
That's interesting. Locally,
because you can't ask for better players.
I'm coming. Hold on. The way you justified, you said they're world-class players.
Locally in the league.
Yeah,
I'm choosing my words carefully.
No, you don't need to choose.
They are big names. They are big names in the league.
No, you're confusing me and the viewers. We're a world-class player. We are world-class player. Man, Casa will be a local champions. That's what you're saying.
No, I didn't say local champions.
But that's what you're saying.
Please let me qualify my words well. They are big household names in the Ghanaian Premier League. Make no mistake about that.
I'm not disputable. Anyway, let's move away from that. That's just on a lighter note. But let's take a look at
that. Is the House of Oak last away matches, and it's not been the best. Apart from the win they had against Nswatremai by 2-1. When they came from a goal down to win that game by 2-1. A draw against Dreams FC, I remember that particular game in Kumasi. They lost by 2-1 to Samates. That was one Evans Osei scoring the winner, scoring a brace in that particular game. Lost by 2-0 against Mediama in that particular game. That was never a good performance from Hearts of Folk. And of course, losing by 2-0 against Legon City at the Daewoo Park. So it tells you the last few games that they've been playing away from Accra, Hearts of Folk struggled to get the maximum point or even a draw in their game. So if they want to get a good point on the road, one of the games that they have to do well and get the point in this particular game. When you look at the record this particular season, it looks like some few away wins, no much many in the Premier League. They are struggling in away games. So maybe
then a problem.
Sometimes I'm sure it's injuries are part, and maybe internal issues that some things may not be out.
It's lack of consistency on the part of the team.
Every club has suffered injuries. I mean, yesterday the weekend we saw a Kotoko side that was depleted of most of their key players. You could use that as a reason or an excuse, but clubs that have certain pedigree, you cannot get away with that being an excuse. That's why you're a big club. You're expected to make sure that whoever comes in can play that role, and you can make do. You understand?
If you look at the Hearts of Folk team, Salim Adams, Raphael Amponsa, yes, you can say he's a new entrant. Linda Mtange has been there. Hamza is a new entrant who has lighted up the Ghanaian Premier League this season. Issa Kuka has been there. You look at Yao Mankwa Befi has been there. The backline, the entire backline, I don't even want to talk about because they are seasoned household names. You understand? On paper, Hearts of Folk, this backline, Dennis Kosa, Kofi Agbesima, Opon Afrani, and Michel Ampedu, that is like an all-stars backline. So the problem with the Hearts of Folk team is how they concentrate in the course of the game over 90 minutes. They love to play in phases, and when you play in phases, you'll be punished. And the team itself doesn't normally have, aside Hamza, Issa, they don't
have... But all good teams play in phases. You can't be full throttle for 90 minutes. It's not possible.
You've got to maximize the phases. You don't play like 30 minutes good and 60 minutes poor. That has been the problem of the team. You have to be consistent in the phases of the game. You have to minimize the risks. You don't play into the hands of the opposition. And Hearts of Folk, in some of the games, they've been exposed. Just like the game against the goal they considered against Accra Lions. Accra Lions basically hit them on the counter-attack. And the players need to put others in check, and they are not doing that. If you have enough bodies and you're not putting people in check, it will come back to haunt you. And on the flip side, if Hamza Issa doesn't bury the chances, who else buries the chances? You look at this season, they have Kasim Sisi, they have Issa Kuka. How many of them, Asa Hamza Issa having 11 goals, how many of them have 7-8 goals? The goals are not evenly distributed across the team. So you look at goals, you win your matches. And if you don't score enough goals, you don't win matches. If you don't take enough shots, you don't score goals. And that has been the problem with Hearts of Folk this season. And if they can concentrate in the phases of the game, I think they have the squad and the men to be able to manage games and get the result. This afternoon game is going to be a cracker, and it will be extremely difficult for them if they don't start the game properly.
All right, excellent. Francis Agboibo, aka Blackgate, and Nana Edu are here with me. It's the big game to wrap up week 29 in the Ghana Premier League. It's Berekem Chelsea at home against Accra Hearts of Folk. Let's go for a quick break. We'll be back in just a jiffy.
This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I said Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own, let's cherish our own. Division 1 League is back again. This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. This is our own, let's cherish our own. Women's Premier League is back again. DJ Kahwa, Yadi Reshemwa, say Yadi Wadokahwa, DJ Kahwa, Yadi Reshemwa.
So I'm going to your rent. Now better not me pay. Oh.
Hey, StarTimes say, a new concert sika wuti ahwe TV no. Ne boy ya den eche wudanka.
Oh, prepaid NASA.
A new concert sika wuti ahwe TV no. Ne boy ya den eche electricity bills.
Almost done well to keep that in.
Dad, school fees.
A new concert sika wuti ahwe TV no. Ne boy kwa ya den eche my school fees. StarTimes die. Yet yase pa. Ye never pay TV a. Ye bone ja form emo bia timi hwere ni so ade. Enti obia timi hwe bi. Ubetime ja nkwada nyina dia ma StarTime TV. Esan say, entie memema nkwada ni achi. Na wosuo die. Ni nyina wa StarTimes. Ai, StarTimes ebe more premium entertainment. Anoma ye nikanika be ma ufie aye de. Dia kwaso wiase nyina. Ubenya bia hwe. Our StarTimes so. Ai, wouldn't say, uhia StarTime. Oh, ne was so tough form. Me say, any jenny dear, a true chada.
StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
That would include a chat with the two coaches, Boedu and Ouattara. I think they're almost ready, waiting for that signal. So we hear from them. I think that's what everybody wants to hear. What Boedu has to say about facing his former club. They're ready. So let's find out from Berekem.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Nana.
I'm sure that painful defeat in against Legon Cities, you've gone over it right now.
Yes, please, because it's really, really painful. As you can see, that we considered the latter part of the day, at least it has left 8 seconds, which is really bad. But we have worked towards it. That's a focus, and then psychologically, if you have worked over it.
What does this game mean to you personally? Chelsea, coached by Boedu against Hearts of Oak.
Yeah, that's the normal game. We take match after match. Our preparation toward this match is like the other matches. It's not something special. We know that all the 3 points are very necessary. Though Hearts of Oak is a big club that we do respect them a lot, but we are coming to play our normal game.
You have lost just one game at this venue. That was against Enswat Chairman. You won 9 times and drawn 3 times. Do you think home advantage will be key for your success today?
Yeah, really, because we mean for these 3 points is very important. So I believe that at the end of the day, the Chelsea will carry the 3 maximum points.
I see your lineup and I see Lord Amwa returning to replace Asamoah Kufuor. Ahmed Adams drops to the bench. Collins Amial steps in. What is the approach to this game?
Yeah, tactically, you know that we play much possessive football. So, addition with these boys, I hope it will help us because Ahmed got knocked with that was Thursday with a little knock. So we don't want to stress him. That's why we put him at the bench and we have brought
Aman Kuna is a top scorer in the Ghana Premier League, but unfortunately, he's gone a couple of games without scoring. How crucial will his goals be for your side today if he puts on his scoring boots?
Yeah, that's football. Football is dynamic. You can't always get what you want because with a couple of 2 matches, Mancuna didn't score, but I believe that today he will score.
Will Berekem Chelsea beat Hearts of Oak?
Sure, 100% sure. We do our maximum best to carry the 3 points. That's the most important.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hello, coach. Your team have gone 5 matches, just 1 win, 4 defeats. What is the feeling among the playing body?
For the defeat, no goal. We didn't score. 4 matches, we can't score. It's difficult for us. If you didn't score, you can't win the match. We need to score. But I think the boys that today are starting to understand the things. I hope this afternoon the things will go well. I hope.
In some some of the games that you've lost this season, it's not as if you play bad, you play good, you create a lot of chances, you are not scoring. Hamza is the top scorer in your team with 11 goals. He's missing chances. Salim is missing chances. How worried are you that the goals are not coming from the main man?
I think it's the mental problem. Huh? We have the mental problem. We psychology. We're starting to work on that for them to understand the game. The game is the goal. If you created the chances, you didn't score, you lose the goal. But now I think the boys are starting to understand all these things.
I've seen you make a couple of changes. Salifu Ibrahim is on the bench today. Obviously, you are missing Otanga. How big a blow is it for you as you miss your best midfielder, maybe?
All the 24 players I have are equal. Everybody can play. If somebody missed, no problem. But I think Otanga, okay, but we have somebody to replace him today. We can play, no problem.
You think Salim is fit enough and good enough for that purpose in that position?
Well, Salim is a very good player, but sometimes he misses some concentration. But I think now he's starting to understand the concentration for the high-level game is very important. You can get all the talent, but if you don't have that kind of the concentration is the problem. But today, I think we are going to do our best.
Berekem Chelsea have lost just one game at home. They've won 9 matches and they've drawn 3 times. And interestingly, this team you are playing against is being coached by a former House of Oak coach who helped them to win the Premier League title. I don't know whether you've been speaking to the boys about this particular scenario.
Every time I will tell you I'm not a professor of history. I talking about the day. The facts is the game. We are playing today. Every game is true. Every day we have another things. I don't want to talk about that. We are talking about the match, today match. We are going to deliver, maybe we get the chance. But I think we have the good side. Today we are going to make the good things.
Will you win today?
I don't say we win. I say I will go to play well.
And I'm asking you, are you going to win today?
Which coach can tell you when he's going to play didn't want to win? I want to win.
So you win?
I need to win.
Good luck.
Thank you.
That was a nice, jabbing, dodging, Nana Dankwa tried to pull that thing out, but, the man, he swerved.
I like the questions from Nana Dankwa.
Yeah, Nana Dankwa wanted him to say that
very intelligent
we will
questions,
win,
yeah.
just like Boedu, but Ouattara was very intelligent.
He sweat, but finally he said he wants to win.
Yeah,
that's
he didn't say he's going to win.
He said it at the tail end of it that he wants to win.
But he didn't say he's going to win, unlike Boedu. There's a difference.
Yes. Everybody goes to win.
But different from Ubi say 100%, we are going to win. That's the difference.
Yes, that
Boedu said they are going to win.
Yes, that one is
judging from what you guys have heard, what do you think? What do you make of the pre-match psychology between the two?
This is going to be a cracking game. It's going to be a midweek classic in the Ghana Premier League. Looking at the permutation and the build-up from the two coaches, if what they've said to us in the presser is what they've really hammered down the spine of the players, then when they step out onto the pitch, 11v11, it's going to be something interesting. It's going to be an absolute blockbuster over the course of 90 minutes in this afternoon's encounter at the Berekem Park.
Yeah, we're just a few minutes away. Yeah, no.
Yeah, when you look at the way Samuel Bodo Fasijina Wana, you can see the mini game way.
But Oka said before in the end, he actually said yes. He was saying, "Oh, it's like an ordinary game. We're approaching it like an." I see.
You can see from his quite of Fasijina Wana say he's really ready for this particular game.
He started sweating already.
But not this particular 3 points. Not the rest of the next 2 games when we need crop. He's making a statement.
But on your 3 points, that means you've been a top 4.
Yes.
It's very tough games.
And you are beating House of Folk to the top 4.
Right.
House of Folk, that danger zone. You are beating them to be in a respectable position. And it's being coached by Samuel Bodu.
And next game is Kotoko.
Issue in the House of Folk fraternity. Samuel Bodu beating them in Berekem. I spoke to them for more than 1 hour yesterday. This man is eager for this particular game. We're motivated players, especially for this game. So he needs this particular time to make a statement.
At times, you be, I say, Adriana, which is on Sakana, Piso Diham, Mama, Pacho, they are ready for it. Nana Dakwa is our commentator in Berekem.
The Ghana Premier League comes alive once again. This time, the last game to wrap